Hey, hello friends. Welcome to Chucking Up the Walls. Welcome to my craft room. Been doing a little bit of spring cleaning today. So taking a little break and I am going to make a garden flag using this Market Blooms design. So I have one of those like hooks or whatever, and I just need a sign to go on it. So I'm going to make one. I really like this design, so I think it's gonna be cute. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the cover off of my sticky mat, and I'm going to put my garden flag. See, it has the like a little loop there or whatever. You know what? Let's do this upside down. Be easier. So I'll be able to stick my garden flag holder, whatever they call those things, in there. And it will be able to sit out there all spring and summer. Might change it up for the fall, but we'll see. I'm going to be using some of the ink. So once it's dry and I'm able to heat set it, it will be permanent and be able to withstand the weather. So it shouldn't fade or do anything like that. So I think we're good. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure I got all of this fabric pressed down smoothly. There's a little piece of fuzz there. Okay, good to go. All right, so let's get to it. I'm gonna be using a couple different colors. At least that's my thought anyway. A couple different colors, make this bright and pretty. And I think this should work out pretty good. So I'm gonna open up my transfer here and take my Sharpie and mark the bottom corner. So it's easy for me to line back up whenever I'm done cleaning it. There is, there we go. Guys, I got my nails done not too long ago, and I am still just not used to having the thicker nails. You would think after, what, it's been, because this is like the second go round with them, you would think after, I don't know, a month and a half, I would be somewhat used to it, but I'm still not. Okay, let's look and make sure our flower looks fairly straight. All right. So you guys do anything fun today? Hopefully a little bit more fun than the spring cleaning. But it's necessary, we gotta do it. Okay, so there. I think this looks even. Okay, all right, and then let's just pick it up. Careful not to pick up the top so I don't have to line it back up again. And then just press it down. Make sure we're getting all the air bubbles out between our transfer and our fabric. And I think we're good to go. All right. I do believe. All right, I want to make sure that these letters are crisp and clear, so I'm going over them again just to make sure there's no air pockets. And I believe we're good to go. So with the letters, I want to do espresso to the brown. I think that's going to look really cute on this neutral. Make sure my colors are open. I'm going to use a color called Bumblebee for the center of the flowers, yellow. I know I used this one. Green, obviously, for the greenery below the flowers, called Meadow. And then this one I think is new. Yes, so this is a beautiful purple. So let's get these all open before we start working with them. Ink does take a while to dry, but being that it's so warm, it may not take as long as it normally does. I'm doing my best not to turn on my air conditioner until I absolutely have to. So it's warm in my craft room. I have a really big window. that I had the blinds open to, and it's just, I mean, it's not uncomfortable, but it's just warmer than it normally is in here. To be honest with you, I kind of like it. I'm over the cold. Okay, good. So all of our colors are now ready to go. I ink on my finger. I'm just gonna plop that in the water. All right, so let's make sure we start with clean hands and espresso's up number 1. Let's do these words. And I think for the sake of ease, anyway, for me, I'm just gonna go and turn my flag sideways. And I'm just gonna cover these words. So we just dip right into our paste and just gently go over them. With ink, you do not press hard. You just scoop up your paste, let the ink flow through the screen onto the surface underneath, right? So let's just keep going. Cover all of our words here in this brown. I think this is gonna look cute. It's gonna, to me, it's gonna kind of remind me of, you know, like the old style farm signs that you would see like roadside, you know, people selling their market goods, their flowers, their vegetables, their fruits, whatever it is that they, eggs, whatever they grow on their small little hobby farms. All right, so let's work a little bit faster here and just cover the rest of these words. All right, I think I am going to peel as we go though. With ink, you typically don't have to, but like I said, it is really warm in my craft room, and I don't want this ink drying in my silk screen. Whoa. Be careful not to go over the edge. If you do, it's not the end of the world, but the goal is not to do that. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape. That looks like I've got everything covered. I'm just going over it one last time to pick up any excess, so don't end up with any like funky lines. And then let's check this. And if there's anything that we need to go over again, I already can see the bottom of this F. Looks like it might need a little extra love. We can do that. Okay, so let's peel slowly and just make sure. Yep, that looks great. Okay, now we're just gonna like plop it down like that and not touch it again, okay? So we are done with the espresso. I am going to take a paper towel and wipe off this ink off of this squeegee before I plop it in the water, just to get most of it off, right? Okay, now let's kind of press along the top of this flower, because we may have peeled up a little bit of it when we were peeling up our words. So I want to make sure that that is still pressed down good, nice and smooth. And we are going to do, I think I want to do the yellow and the inside first, and then come back and do the purple around it. So I'm going to do the centers of these flowers in this yellow. I'm taking just this tiny tool here and just going to kind of paint it in. Doing my absolute best to stay away from the petals. We can turn it as we need, because I only want it in the center of this flower. So I'm going to just focus and turn as we need. And just color in the center. All right, I think that's pretty good. Let's do the other one. And when we peel it up, you know, if we need to go back over it a little bit, that won't be a problem. But I'm gonna try to get decent coverage the first go around so we don't have to do that. But if we do, no worries. Easy enough to go over any spots that we may have missed or just gone a little light on. All right, so far so good. We're staying in the lines and just rotating our project as we need to. Just make it easy on yourself. When you need to turn, turn. All right, I think one more dip in the ink and we should have it. Okay, our yellow, I do believe, is covered. All right, I'm gonna leave it fairly thick. Sorry, I'm focusing. I'm gonna leave it fairly thick for now so it doesn't start to dry on us while we do the rest of this purple. Okay, or while we do the purple. All right, I am gonna leave that open just in case we do need to touch it up, being that we did that first. Okay, so now we're going to take another squeegee, go into this purple, and cover all of this purple. I'm really excited. I think this is gonna look super cute when we're done. All right, so I'm gonna need a fair amount of paste, so just scoop some up, or a fair amount of ink. So let's just scoop some up here and cover. Staying away from the edge and staying away from the yellow. If I need to go back over the center part with a smaller squeegee, I will, but I'm gonna try to get the bulk of it with this larger one. It makes it just go faster. And turn. And cover. All right, petals here are good. All of this is gonna be purple. You could do your flowers in any color you wanted. You could do one purple, one pink, one whatever color flowers you like, but I am doing both of my flowers in the purple. Doing my best to stay away from where I don't want to cover, right? So like, especially down here on the bottom, like this greenery that goes with the flowers, I don't want that to be purple. I want it to be green. So we are not going to cover that, if at all possible. If for some reason we cover a little too much of it, we can go over and touch it up, but I'm going to try to do it right the first time. Okay. All right, let's do this big part here and just make some quick time of this. And like I said, if we want to go in and do the closer parts with a smaller squeegee, we can. Okay, so just keep going. Keep going and keep covering. Lots and lots. Fabric soaks up the ink, so it does, you know, take a little bit more than you might think, but it honestly doesn't take that much. There's plenty of ink in our jar to do multiple projects. Okay, that looks good, that looks good. Going around the bend here. Excuse me. And then we will peel up our flowers, see how they look, and move into our greenery. So close. And just keep going. But anyway, did you guys do anything fun today? Did you? I hope so. It's beautiful outside, so hopefully you guys were able to enjoy a little bit of the sunshine. The warmer weathers now that we're getting there. My husband took off on the motorcycle, took a little motorcycle cruise, which was cool. Okay. All right, I think I am going to use a smaller one. Let's leave that there. Take just a tinier one here and fill in all of these little areas here. All right. Get this top one done. Let's fill in down here. So close. All right, that's good, that's good. Pick up our excess kind of as we go at this point. All right, that's good, that's good. Not really sure what that white thing is there, but that's okay. And, ooh, that was really close. I almost got the greenery. But like I said, if I do end up going over it, I can always, at the very end, once it's dry, or almost dry, can go over it with the green. It'll be fine. It will be fine. Okay. Just get these last little bottoms of our petals. So close to being done with our flowers. Uh-oh, we might have went in the yellow a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's gonna be fine. Okay, think we got everything covered. Everything looks good anyway. Pick up our excess so we don't end up with any. Oh, I totally just went over that yellow. You know what? I'm gonna go over it again and see if I can't kind of cover that up and hope for the best with that. Kind of mixed it up a little bit there, but that's okay. I am okay with that. I should probably peel. And got a little bit of brown on my hand. All right, let's peel and see where we're at. Fingers clean. Words still look great. Flowers look good. They really do look good. There's a tiny little piece of the bottom part of that yellow that I might retouch, but honestly, I don't not like it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and just gently lay this down. And now let's clean this ink off of here so I can use this tool again for our green. And let's get our greenery done. I don't think I'm gonna do the words on the bottom. I might, I don't know, we'll see, but I think I'm going to, all right, I'm just gonna take my tool here and kind of press down in the areas there. Okay, let's finish this up with the green. Let's take a bigger squeegee again, get the bulk of this green covered, and then I will use that tiny one to get in there near the flowers. But we're just gonna go over the whole thing, staying away from these words. If I accidentally get into the words, I guess we'll just do them, but I don't think I want them on there. I think I just want the cool leaves. All right. Like I said, don't press hard, just let the ink do its job and go through the screen for you. And you will be good to go. So the ink is super cool. Like you can make your own, obviously garden flags. You can make your own shirts, sweatshirts, towels, t-shirts, tote bags. What else have we made using the ink? Pillowcases, anything that is fabric is what you would use your ink for, usually. Unless, you know, if it's like a purely decorative piece that you know you're never going to wash, then you could use paste, but the ink is specifically designed for textiles. And after you let it dry and then heat set it, like I was telling you earlier, it becomes permanent. So you can use it for, like I said, shirts and sweatshirts and stuff that you are going to be washing. Because once you get it dry and down and all that, you can wash it just in the normal washing machine and it works perfectly. Doesn't pull the ink out whatsoever. I have a couple of shirts, t-shirts that I've made years ago that I still wear and still wash, and they still look great. So I know it works. Okay, let's go in here and just get in these little spaces like so. Clean up right around here. Get all this green covered without getting much purple in it would be ideal. And then one more little space. This is tight, so that's why I'm using this tiny little squeegee just to get up in here. So close. But yeah, I was kind of like, when I was driving around, looking around to see if any of our local stores have started selling flowers. I know it's early, but I just get so excited that I'm ready to plant some flowers around my house. But I didn't really notice a whole lot, so I did not get any. Not today. But trust me, when they start coming out, I will be getting them. Because I love to plant flowers around my house. I have some that come back, you know, that I've planted that are, you know, the ones that return every year and whatnot. But some of them you have to plant every year. So especially ones that go in like your planters, like your planter boxes and whatnot. Okay, let's peel it up and see where we're at. Let's hope. Ooh, that part that I thought had some purple in it does not. Awesome. Our leaves look so good. All right, let me get this out of the way. Scoot this down. I need to spray some water on this though. Scoot this over. Spray some water on here just to keep that ink from drying. We most likely have a little bit of time, but why risk it? All right, and check it out. I don't even know, can you guys see how there's like the tiniest bit of purple in there? I am going to go over that. I don't need the green anymore. And I really shouldn't be doing this on my towel, but it is about time to get a new towel. So I think I'm just going to use it for today and get a new one. Okay, let's get all of this out of the way before we get any ink anywhere that we don't want to. Okay, and I am gonna go over and just touch up this yellow a little bit. Can also, when you're doing your little touch-ups like this, can also use a paintbrush. That actually works really well, which is probably what I should be doing. Smooth it out, but I think I have officially covered all that purple, and I like it. Okay, and then, yeah, there is a little, you know what, this stuff doesn't have to be perfect, but now that I see it, and I was just telling you guys how you can take a paintbrush and add in, if you missed like a little space after you pulled it all up, just right down here on the bottom of this flower. So I'm gonna see if I can't just kind of dab a little bit of purple in there and just clean up this edge just a bit. I don't want to add too much, but awesome. And then now that I'm doing it, I see that I did get a little bit of yellow in this purple. So let's just go over it with the purple and cover that yellow up. And no one other than you guys will ever know that that yellow was there. See, this is what happens when you start really like fine looking at it. You're like, oh, well, I already got my paintbrush dirty. We might as well clean up all the spots. But I think that's the last bit of it, as I find another one. While the ink is wet, it's real easy to just kind of like blend it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Nor do I think it matters, but okay, perfect. I'm done. Nope, I'm not. Now I'm done. All right, awesome. Just stop. It's perfect. It's fine. It's perfect in my world. And it's crafting, y'all. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's relaxing. It's fun. It's better than spring cleaning. And it's going to look absolutely adorable outside my house once it's dry and set. All right, well, here's our finished project. Check it out. Flower market. Super, super cute. All right, guys, well, that was fun. I hope I inspired you to make some decor for the outside. These garden flags are super easy to make, and, you know, you could also have always just done it all as like a one and done type. You know, you wouldn't have to have done quite as many colors as I did, but I have the colors and I got the time, so I'm doing it. All right, let me know what you think. Once it's dry and heat set, I'll put it outside. I'll take a picture so you guys can see where it's at in my landscaping, and you guys can enjoy it just as much as I do. But anyway, I hope, like I said, I've inspired you to make some sort of crafts. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Do something awesome. Get out there and enjoy this beautiful weather. All right, guys, as always, I appreciate you watching. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you soon. All right, bye.